Welcome back to Canadian Justice, where we're discussing Canada's leading legal intellectual movement, the Runnymede Society, with its new executive or new national director, Tim Haggstrom. Now, Tim, some people, we've talked about Runnymede being a values based organization focused on constitutionalism, fundamental freedoms, and the rule of law, but some people view Runnymede as maybe libertarian or conservative. What's your take on that? I mean, it's not a value neutral debate club, but what can you tell us about that that viewpoint? Is that a viewpoint of Runnymede?
So I'm aware that the label is used sometimes, specifically conservative and libertarian. I've seen. I know your audience members may have seen that in the press. I would challenge that view. I don't adopt it myself. Expressly, Runnymede is a nonpartisan organization in the political sense, and I do understand that sometimes people use something like a mental shortcut or a heuristic to understand the way judges or legal scholars or law students think about the law based on their politics. But I don't think that captures the full picture. And as I think about the people that I've met at Runnymede, the people we've had as speakers, I'm confident that we've had people who, although I don't always know their politics, they've probably voted for every major party in this country. And when we think about intellectual diversity, we do look for people who probably do have different political leanings. I don't think we'd be doing our job if we didn't do that. But I want to emphasize that there are other ways to think about the different ways that people approach legal problems. And some of them are pretty straightforward or kind of simple, but they're not quite related to politics. Some people believe that courts of appeal should intervene more easily in decisions below. Others would take a more deferential approach. Some people are more abstract in the way they think. Others are more pragmatic. So there are lots of different dimensions, not just politics. And when we think about intellectual diversity, when we tackle these legal issues, I think there's a lot more to the picture than sort of slapping a label on the organization or even its typical member.
Now, one of the major events of the year for Runnymede just concluded, and that was the National Student Leaders Conference. What can you tell me about that, what that was like?
That's right. So that it was my pleasure to come into this role sort of just in time to lead that conference. We held it in Ottawa just this past weekend, the first weekend of July. We had almost 30 student delegates attend. So these are people who volunteer in their law schools to lead a Runnymede chapter. And it was a very energizing event, I think, for me and for the students. There was a great deal of enthusiasm. We held one substantive event for the students about the judicial role. We had some judges attend and spend time with the students. We also helped them plan for the year ahead. And we're investing in these students. So we had some people come and talk to them about different possibilities in their career and in the careers of their members, given that they're interested in public law.
Now, every year there's also a national conference, Law and Freedom, held at the University of Toronto. What can you tell me about that event and what that is like?
Yes, so that event has been going on for a while. I understand it's actually even older than Runnymede itself, but it is the most significant event that Runnymede is involved in every year. We have a number of speakers. It's sort of 2 days full of sessions. We've recently started to have sessions in French as well for French-speaking attendees. So this coming year, it's on the 7th and 8th of February, again at Hart House, so people can save the date. And we'll be hearing a keynote address from someone who's spoken to us before. That's Justice David Stratus of the Federal Court of Appeal. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I love Justice Stratus. He's always such an engaging and entertaining speaker. And we've had some other high profile judges as guest speakers in the past. What can you tell me about some of those speakers?
Yes, we have, and a lot of them are available on recording. Currently, they're available to everybody. But as I look back, I know we had a speech by the Honorable Ian Binney, former judge of the Supreme Court of Canada, the Honorable Marshall Rothstein, similarly a former judge. We've also had sitting Supreme Court justices take the time to come to speak with us. So that includes Justices Malcolm Rowe, Suzanne Cote, and Russell Brown. And the list goes on. I don't think I'll have time to name everybody, but I mentioned Justice Stratus. He's been a speaker. Justice Lowers of the Ontario Court of Appeal. We've had Chief Justice Glenn Joyal of the Manitoba Court of King's Bench. And one of my personal favorites actually wasn't a judge. It was a speech by Marie Hennen,
Oh,
who is an
yeah.
esteemed criminal defense lawyer.
Her speech was fantastic and so inspiring for young lawyers who come to events like this, or even seasoned lawyers, because it's a very mixed crowd of lawyers, students, and non-lawyers alike. We've got to go to commercial break now, but we'll be right back.